Hey, I'm Birdalert, and this is my Cuphead Expert Series, where we take on bosses and talk strategy for Cuphead bosses on Expert Mode. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and comment down below if I missed any good strategy points for each of these bosses, because I know everyone has different game style plays and the way that they defeat these bosses, so let me know what you did down in the comments if it's different, and that would be awesome. Okay, so before we get going, I want to jump in, hit triangle, and I want to change my attacks. I really like to have spread, and I really like roundabout, pretty much for every boss. I like the super #1, and I like to have the charm as sugar, not the smoke bomb. Smoke bomb I've used for later bosses, but not for these first bunch. So I put sugar on there so that I can automatically parry, and I can build up my super meter. The very first boss we're going to play is Root Pack. This is by far the easiest boss in the entire game. It's kind of laughable, but it scales up really quickly after this guy. So the first phase of this guy is pretty simple. He shoots the 3 clumps of dirt and then the pink worm that you can parry. But then the second time he does it, it gets faster, so you have to try and jump a little bit quicker. And the last time, I found it easy to skip one of the clumps of dirt and then parry the worm. You can jump straight to the worm and that works as well. And by this time, if you can get this next parry, you should build up your super meter, give him a blast with your super, and then wait for the onion phase. I like the roundabout because I can kind of face away and, you know, not worry too much about if I'm hitting him or not, because if I point towards him, it hits him. If I point away, it'll hit him as well. If you can parry one of these tiers coming down, that'll help build up your super meter really fast. But like I said, this guy's easy. You don't even really need your super meter that much to beat this guy. Now for carrot, I really like spread because I can just sit here and the little carrots that fly from the sky, they kind of just run into my spread attack for me. You can build up your super, give him a blast, and then just go straight underneath him. When he does his little mind-bending attack there, I wait till the last second and then I just move out of the way, and it's pretty simple. You can hold R1 on the PlayStation controller and aim at those carrots if you want. But you don't really have to. This guy's pretty easy. And that's it. There you go. Boss #1 taken care of. Okay, so the next boss we're going to play is Goopy Le Grande. And surprisingly, I found this guy really easy as well. He's not as easy as the Root Pack, but he's pretty easy. So that would be the second boss of choice, I would say. Same thing with this guy. I really like roundabout. I can run away from him and then walk underneath of his jump whenever he does that. And there doesn't seem to be any certain number of jumps that he does before he does his attack, but you can run under the low jumps and the high jumps. And I just try and stay away from him when he does this little attack thing there, and it works pretty well. Now when he does this, you want to parry all 3 of these question marks and then blast him with your super. And that way this next phase is pretty quick, because this phase is a little bit trickier to get underneath of him if you're just running. If you do decide to use smoke bomb, it's easier to dash underneath that and not get hit. You can see there I almost got hit. But again, with roundabout, it's pretty simple. And the last phase here, I use spread once again, and I go the opposite direction. Wherever he's going, I go the opposite direction, and I dash out of the way at the last second, and I pretty much do this the entire last phase. It does take a little bit longer with the spread, but it's not that big of a deal. I get hit here, kind of silly of me making that rookie mistake. But this guy's pretty easy. You know, you just stay out of the way, dash every time he makes his little move there. I found with spread, my super meter doesn't build up very fast, so this phase takes a little while, but it does build up eventually. If you have enough patience, you can use your super meter and give him a blast there, and that guy's taken care of as well. So there you go, boss #2. So the next boss that I do in my playthroughs, I go down to the boat and I take Ribby and Croaks. They are a little bit trickier. I found them really difficult on my first playthrough. But what I like to do is I like to use roundabout. I like to go really close to them and take care of those fireflies first, and then hit as many of these parries as I can. It's RNG completely where the parryable attacks, those gloves, appear. But depending on which one appears will determine how I hit it. So if it's at the top like that, I jump straight up and I hit it on my way up and then come down, and it's usually pretty safe. I really like to take care of the fireflies. If it's the second one, I'll hit it and then come down. If it's the first one of his attack that you can parry, I don't hit it the first time, and then I jump over the second to last one and land on top of the very last boxing glove to parry it. This phase is pretty self-explanatory. I like to use roundabout because I can hit him no matter which direction I'm facing, and basically just try not to get hit when you're getting blown away by this fan. It's a little bit frustrating, that fan, sometimes. So you jump over this guy here, and I continue to use roundabout for this phase as well. With the coins, I run back and forth like that, and I parry it, and I get out of the way, and it seems to work pretty good. And the other good thing about roundabout is on this phase, you can be pointed away and still be hitting him from far away. Now, it does take a long time for your super meter to build up, but with the coins again, doing the same thing, running back and forth, wait for the parry. And then you get the frogs, and the frogs I found really hard at first, but then I kind of started to figure out you jump on one at a time, and then you skip and jump over every other one, and that seems to help out a lot. I was dying a lot on this boss when I went through my first playthrough because I couldn't figure out the frog phase. And you got to remember too that you can't actually attack him until these things start coming out, so I wait to use my super right at the perfect second so that, you know, if that is the end, then we're done. And that's Ribby and Croaks. Alright, so next is Cagney Carnation. Again, this is another one of those bosses that on regular took me quite a while to beat. But once you understand the RNG and you understand his attacks, it's not quite so hard. Like the other bosses, I like to use roundabout, and I like to try and parry as many of those umbrella seeds as I possibly can. Sometimes I'll switch to my spread to try and get rid of a bunch of these little green flying chompy guys. It just seems to help get rid of some of the chaos, and then I switch back to roundabout and I try and jump up and get as many hits in on Cagney as I can. This part is basically just all chaos. It's trying to manage the little flying guys, and then when you do get the chance to use your super, I like to stay on the ground as much as possible because those vines can't kill you, and it gives you a little bit more time to see those seeds coming from the sky. And like I said, when you do want to attack Cagney, jump up on top of those platforms there and get as many hits in as you can. And parry. Parry, parry, parry. I can't stress how important parrying is on basically all the bosses because it helps get your super meter up so fast. And he does this little attack here, and I didn't realize the first time I played through that you could be at the edge of the screen and he wouldn't get you up top there. I'm not sure if it's the same down below, but it is up top. With these things, I like to kind of wait till the last second when he fires them and then jump either up or down because they'll kind of already be on their way. And then I get nice and close with the spread, give him a bunch of blasts. On this phase here, it's just trying to time jumping from platform to platform, jump over top here. Using roundabout again helps a ton because you can face either direction and hit him almost every single time. I don't necessarily like to be on this close one because of that reason right there. When I was going for the S rank, I stayed away from this platform because it was too risky. So I like to usually stay on number 2 or 3 unless they have the vines on them growing, and then you have no choice. So last up on Isle 1 is Hilda Berg, and this boss took me forever to get S rank. I don't know what it was, but I just kept dying on the UFOs. But I like to use the regular shot to build up my super meter. I don't necessarily know if it's correct that it builds up faster, but the bomb seems to do more damage, but I didn't build up my super meter fast enough in order to get the S rank when I was doing it. So I like to build it up as fast as possible. I got lucky with that first parry, but there's always that second parry opportunity right there while they throw that little sun ball at you. So I like to prepare myself to parry as I come around running away from this attack. When she throws a tornado, I like to go down when I'm small. I turn small, go down, and go towards her, and it gets away from the tornado nice and easy. This is basically just dodging the haws and all of the little bullets. On this phase here, I use the bombs and I like to try and attack as quick as I can because you can actually blow up all of those stars he shoots if you use the bomb at the right time. Another strategy here is to do exactly that and wait for the stars to come close when you use your super, and it blows up those stars for you. I found those stars so annoying. Trying to escape them was really hard. There I did the tornado move again, where you go down when you're small and towards her, and it really bypasses that tornado nicely. Like I said, this is all just dodging. Once she hits this point, I use my bombs because I try and get in as many free hits as I can. She's just sitting there, so I can just go and hammer on her. And here, I built up my super meter, I give her a nice smash in the face, and now it's the blasted UFOs. The gold ones will shoot early, the red ones will shoot late. So you can set off the gold ones early by getting close to them and then wait for them to shoot and then go underneath them. The red ones, you go small and you go through as fast as you can. It is really difficult, but if you can stay concentrated and see the stars coming at you at the same time, it's manageable. I found that I got lucky basically to get S rank on this boss because it was just really hard to manage this last part. And then build up your super meter, give her a nice shot in the face, and that should pretty much do it. And that's Hilda Berg. This boss was by far the hardest boss on Isle 1, and probably one of the hardest bosses that I came across trying to get my S rank. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Cuphead Expert, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like the video, and I'll catch you next time on Isle 2. Peace.